I think he said he found it. Unless you're making the motion, you make sure somebody else can see it,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I'm going to call the hearing to order for a revenue neutral hearing.
Okay, starting 3 years ago, it became a law that each district has to pass the resolution to exceed the revenue neutral rate if our taxes that we're going to be levying exceed the revenue neutral rate. How that comes to be is the county clerk takes a look at last year's millage and then takes into account our assessed valuation and says, okay, to generate the exact same amount of money, what do you have to do with your rate? Okay, that's the revenue neutral rate. Given the fact that our district went up by $4.5 million in assessed valuation, anytime you go up in assessed valuation, you'll face this need to pass the resolution. So it set our revenue neutral rate at 45.479. So the idea being, since the district's worth more money, you would tax the people less money to equal the same amount of dollars, okay? However, also baked into this wonderful rule is if we go exceed the revenue neutral rate for the general fund, capital outlay, or LOB, or bond interest, then you also have to pass the RNR resolution. So even if our overall millage were lower than the RNR rate, which it's not, it's being proposed at 48, so it's 2 point something higher than 45. Even if it were lower, given the fact that the general fund is statutorily required to be 20 mils, that's baked into the law, the RNR rate for that, as computed by our county clerk, comes in at 19.262. There's no mechanism by which to do that. It's not legal. We can't do that. And so if nothing else, that triggers the need to pass the resolution to exceed the revenue neutral rate. But in order to make this occur officially, someone needs this form here is the actual form itself. Needs to read this out loud because it's important to get into the actual minutes that the board will be passing the budget which exceeds the revenue neutral rate to finance the 23-24 budget. And then it has to have a roll call vote. So it's not just all in favor, raise your hand. It's Casey Robinson, what's your vote? Joe George, what's your vote? And so we go around and we mark it on the sheet. So that's what the revenue neutral rate is all about. What questions may I answer for you? Anytime our assessed valuation goes up, you're going to face this issue. And it's a good thing that our assessed valuation is going up.
Okay, I need a motion that it be resolved by USD 363 that the 2023-2024 budget with a levy of property taxes exceeding the revenue neutral tax rate calculated for 2023-2024 as adjusted pursuant to KSA 79-2988 is hereby adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Sean and Curtis. Okay, and now we get to do a roll call vote.
That's correct.
So, Casey, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Matt? Yes. Motion carries. So 6-0. Okay. So now can we move to the budget or do we have to wait?
The budget, no, budget hearing.
Okay.
You can move to it.
All right, now I'm going to open the budget hearing.
Okay, and this has been in statute forever. Well, this is my 17th year as a superintendent, so it's been before my time. We have a part of Kansas laws for schools is you have to have a budget hearing. And basically it's opportunity for populace to come in and ask any questions they might have about the budget. go through some of this for you. And then later in the meeting, I'll be asking you to adopt the budget as presented, okay, later on. Two pieces are new starting last year, and that's the state assessment scores for the previous year, and then the building needs assessment summation has to be reflected in the minutes. So the idea being, if you recall, tied to the budget, all districts are supposed to be looking at the barriers that would keep us from having 100% of our student population testing at levels 3 and 4 on the state assessments, okay? So we looked at all the various barriers and how we did it, that we did it the way we're supposed to do it. The individual buildings looked at their situation, engaged with their people, building leadership teams, teachers, parents, and put together a list for me from the different, all 4 buildings. Came to me, I pulled it together, here's the common elements, and you have a sheet that details all this. And then we came up with possible budgetary responses to this. So there's 3 pieces to this. What are the barriers? What are possible budgetary responses to it? What's our timeline? What do we think? How long do we think it'll take to get 100% of our student population to levels 3 and 4? Before I walk through those possible budgetary responses, you do have, and I shared with you last month, but I want to get it in the record again. You have the state assessment results from last year. This is this form I gave to you last month. So from the various barriers, which basically boil down to special populations, the needs of some of our, well, and we're not unique to this, it's across the state of Kansas, homelessness, migrant, ESL, trauma-informed situations, just a variety of reasons why, kids have difficulties. And we're still coming out of COVID. I'm ready to say, forget about all that, but it's still here now. Put our brains together. So what could we do, to help with this? And so possible budgetary responses we talked about last month, acquire an evidence-based research resources to meet the specific needs of our students who are tier 2 or tier 3. It's really funky because in this sentence I'm talking about tier 2 and tier 3 mean the students who need the most help so as they can get over here and test at levels 3 and 4. They need to fix the language. But regardless, so find a resource to help our kids. Hire a secondary interventionist to direct and meet the needs of our most struggling students, and continue down the path with our professional learning with our MTSS. And a 4th thing we came up with is hire people to catch up our chronically absent students. The first 3 things we're doing, we're implementing this year. We used ESSER 3 money for the tier for the resource, using ESSER 3 money to hire the secondary interventionist, and we're continuing on with our professional learning through MTSS, and that's free to us. That's free. Thank you very much to Jerry and Tyler, pushing the idea that we need to have that here. And tell you what, we went through an entire year's worth of professional learning. And I was pleased with it, very pleased. But now we're implementing, across the board. As I've talked about previously, elementary's had MTSS for ages. But like, Randy and Amy will attest to, is good to kick the tires. Now it's at the middle school, high school level as well. So anyway, so we're doing those things, all right? So the idea being then, how long is it going to take? The goodness truth is infinity plus 1, but we've turned in that it's going to take 7 to 8 years to get it done, to get all our people there. So that has to be in the minutes. So all those thoughts have to go into, okay, what are we doing with the budget? What you'll see this year, the millage is going up by 0.004 from last year. That's an equivalent of $11.29 increase on a $100,000 home for the year. It is up. It's not down. It is up 1.004 mils, but it's still lower than it was 2 years ago. The millage 2 years ago was higher than where we're proposing this year. So that's about as flat as we can get it, as far as I'm concerned. I'm interested in going ahead and moving down the path to get the greater dollars because, well, everything else is going up in cost, but also baked in, special ed is going to cost more this money, and so is Title I. And so we're trying to make up the difference in those areas. A year from now, when the ESSER 3 money is gone, we're going to have to look really long and hard at this because the SPED, there are only so many revenue sources for SPED. And one of the choices Dale Dennis used to preach about, even though I don't genuflect at the altar of Dale Dennis, you just have to charge the locals. Well, I don't like that. That's not a good answer. Just charge the locals. But the reality is we cannot not have sped. So regardless. So this is the budget hearing. What questions may I answer for you? Later in the meeting, I'll be asking you to adopt the budget as presented.
Don't we have that secret sped account?
Yeah, that was actually somebody said those words.
Switzerland. Yeah.
The previous sped director said.
Offshore is not a good word to say.
No questions.
All right. Well, then we will close the budget hearing, and I need a motion then to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Ryan Shrivogel and Jill. We're going to give it to Jill. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Jill,
Second.
Ryan Shrivogel. Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, recognitions.
This is to the entire macro greater educational community. It's been a great school year, beginning of the school year. The principals attest to the fact, most everyone I've talked to about this, says, everybody, kids, adults, everybody, came back excited, ready for school. So that's a good thing. That's a celebration. Sometimes that's not the case. But it is the case this year, which, we're just, biding our time. Things will occur because we're dealing with humans, but that's okay. Right now it's a celebration, and happy to be back and rip-roaring, ready to go for the year,
I'm sure every student in the district will share those sentiments.
all year long.
Yes. All right, let's move to Mike and financials.
Okay, on page 2, I'll point out at the top, CDW, the Go Guardian subscription, $9,520.
What's that?
It's to help the students not get to places they're not supposed to be into.
That's a nice way of saying it, to help the students not to get in.
And then page 3, Joe Amos Construction did some repairs there in front of the high school, concrete work, $3,250 worth. On page 4, $15,000 to Midwest Energy for the repairing the gas lines at the high school for us. And then page 5, I guess I'll point it out because everybody's been talking about it. Site 1 landscape, the new robotic mowers that we got, $10,087, so basically $5,000 a piece.
And I'll be talking about those further as the meeting goes on.
And then down towards the bottom of page 5, train, $29,688 to repair the heater cores on the units at Wiley. So the warrants for this month, $416,177.57. And then page 9, our cash balances are where we expect them to be this time of our budget process. And then page 11 is our fund expense summary. Same there as far as the amount of expenses we've done so far. And then back behind that's our transfers and then our middle school and high school reports. So if you have any questions.
No questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials at $416,177.57.
So moved.
Ryan Shrivogel and Sean. Moved and seconded to approve the financials. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, no public patron concerns, so administrative reports, Dr. Meyer.
Yeah, I want to follow up on in my monthly report to you about the evil forces from the south. The logo discussion continues. Yeah, conspiracy. KASB represents us in this. I almost think he's having fun with it, in that he went and researched the state of Texas and provided them with a laundry list of names of schools in Texas who use not just the logo, the shadow, but burnt orange as well. And so I don't know what legal precedence that has on anything, but he's basically saying, hey, come on now. And he knows what we've done. We're not buying anything new with the silhouette, as they call it. And we will fight tooth and toenail. I don't think anyone gets to own a color. And as Amy Albright, proud graduate of Holcomb High School, told me, it's pumpkin orange. So that's good enough for me. It's not burnt orange. We have pumpkin orange in USD 363. Lawn robots. So Garrett came to me, I don't know, a month ago, maybe whatever it was, with an idea and said, hey, Southwind, how they take care of their grounds, and I asked him to come up here in case you have further questions for us, with these robots. They're like $4,500 each, somewhere in that ballpark. And I said, well, okay, that's interesting. Give me more information. So in the end, I said, all right, you can get two. You can buy two. Let's see how it works. Let's see what happens here. Can improve efficiency and allow us to then assign somebody to do other work, be it in mechanical or maintenance and or grounds. It's money ahead, depending on how well they work out. If you want to talk a little bit about how they work, Garrett?
Yeah, we've had them going for about a week now. They are working exactly how I wanted them to work. You set them up on a controller just like your sprinkler system. I got them starting at 12 o'clock at night. It runs. It ran last night when it rained on there. They could cut because they're only about 15 pounds. They're only about 15 pounds, so it could cut when it's raining, when we overseed that we have planned. They just go. They follow everything. Couple little kinks I had to work out just in my programming of the travel pass that it follows. But if anyone touches them, picks them up, they shut off automatically. They're quiet. They run for about 3 hours, charge for 30 minutes. And they've done exactly, they cut the grass instead of kind of, most mower blades, they will, when the blade comes through, kind of rips the grass. These have razor blades on them that cut it, nice clean cut every single time for it. You can set patterns, you can do a lot of things. It is roughly 25 inches. It's like a push mower on there. So it's not the biggest machine out there, but it can run almost 20, I think it's 21 hours a day is what it runs.
And what do you say, Southwind has how many?
Buffalo Dunes has 16. I don't know how many Southwind. They have
I'm sorry,
some too,
Buffalo
but
Dunes,
yeah.
yeah.
They got 16 and they're getting ready to order another 18 over there.
Okay.
So once you have the reference station, so if you look at the press box, there's a little globe right there that does a 500-meter radius around the district. And since we got it high, it actually went a little bit further on there. And we go, with that one reference station, we got almost the entire high school and junior high property enclosed in that one reference station. Then we could hook up any type of mower, any more mowers to that same one. And then you just go in, program it on a phone. The app's free. You don't have to pay for that. And the biggest thing that you really have to do with them is about once a month, change the blades out. It's about $10 a month for blades.
So look at us being high tech. We're gonna give it a try. Do a little pilot program. See, how long they last, what they do. And like I said, what I'm excited about it. Well, it's uniform, but then maybe we can reassign people to different things if need be. If we do it at midnight. I don't want our people out there mowing at midnight. So if these things are working like that, thank you, Garrett. Just want to mention to you, Wheatland has adjusted how they're doing things with the, for a couple, 4 or 5 years rather. They provided meals for us during the Longhorn Festival. They've readjusted at home, and they are donating $50,000 total to all the districts in their area. And so I got a message the other day from Allie Conine, $833.33 will be coming to our pantry. Norma sent him, she asked for an invoice, Norma sent the invoice. So thank you, Wheatland, for doing that. The Longhorn Festival is coming up on the 27th, not too long from now, a couple weeks from now. We're not doing the cookout, but we will have food trucks. We've got 3 different food trucks set up. So basically, it's a big school carnival. It's grown every year. Will be interesting to see what happens this year. And I do think it's a lot of times it's weather dependent. But yeah, like 700 some odd people there last year. So quite the event. Hopefully we'll have a similar turnout. Lastly, I told you I'd bug you about this, but KESB Annual Conference is coming up November 10 through 12 in Wichita. Like I said to you last month, whenever they have it in Kansas City, it really, really ticks me off. And they actually said to me the other day, they're not going to do it in Kansas City anymore. I said, oh, good, it's about time. Anytime it's in Wichita, which is Topeka's version of Western Kansas, it'd be nice if, we would support it. So right now, Mr. Jones is signed up to go to that. I'd love to take a full contingency of board members. Please look at your schedule. I've left you alone for a month. We're going to start bugging you, right, Robin? And so it's November 10, 11, 12. It's decent. Any conference you go to, you get out of it what you put into it, frankly. But one good thing for those of you involved in negotiations, we have to get yearly, by law, negotiations training. They'll take care of that there. So that's my report. Mr. Jones?
Thank you. All right, now we will move to buildings and grounds.
I thought you already did.
Nothing further.
Okay, so now we'll move to Sam.
Okay, buildings and grounds. We got the sprinkler system fixed over here?
It will be fixed here on Thursday.
'Cause that's starting to look like crap out there. Get your little mechanic mowers out there and mow that real quick for us. And up here at the front of this building, come on up. And that needs to be repainted. Where this says the push button, where it's, get that cleaned up, and that's rust bowled out. Looks like,
The handicap sign?
yes.
Okay.
Get that cleaned up if you don't mind. We have any leaks in any of the buildings?
We've had a couple.
Bring it on up and let's have a conversation.
Not the gym, though. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Not the gym. Not the gym.
Where we got leaks at?
Yeah, so right now we got some leaks at Wiley on the window wells and a couple on the roof that we have found on there. Junior high, we got the gym locker, the boys' gym locker, we got a leak there for it. Elementary, we have one in Miss Gifford's room. And then at the high school, we had a couple new ones that we didn't know about till today. And the ones, we got about half of them fixed so far. The guys are up there working on them for it. We got probably half of them fixed right now. We're going 3 feet around the edge right now because that last big 5-inch rain we had about 24 leaks from that one rainstorm right there. Today we were down significantly from that. The 4 worst leaks that we had, they had no water coming in at all on them, and we're still going around everywhere getting everything for it done on there. So it's just clean, and then we are putting caulking and the sealant down, and it is working, and the guys are still moving along with that.
Thank you, Garrett.
You're welcome.
All right, now it's time for Sam and transportation.
Yeah, saddle all it up there, Sam. You got good news.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was in a hurry. We did finally make some ground and got a Suburban ordered, and I just talked to Galen just a minute ago, and he said ETA for it should be Thursday here in Dodge City, and we'll run over and pick it up. Well, I don't know if they gotta do anything to it and so hopefully by this weekend we can
PDI.
get it.
Just make sure everything's good on it.
And thank you, Sean, for facilitating that for us, finding the vehicle for us.
The van, it's supposed to be in Wichita. I haven't talked to him today. I was on a trip, but hopefully that should be next weekend to go pick up. Other than that, I don't know why it was so hard to get one, Sean, just because nobody wants to hold it for 2 weeks, or what's they didn't trust that we had the money? I don't know what the deal was.
We got her straightened out, didn't we?
No, I mean, the other guys, we had a few people pull the rug out from under us, so,
But now we have it figured out. We know how to do it.
yeah.
And I'm sure you'll hear about it. Give me the update on the buses,
The
big ones.
orange ones, we haven't taken one in. We're still waiting on the switch for the temperature adjustment switch. They got the evaporator coil. I called National Bus today, and they sent it from National Bus, so it should be here hopefully tomorrow. That's just a plug-and-play deal from what I understand. So any luck, we should have one back this weekend.
And
The
the
other
turbo thing?
I haven't taken that in yet.
Okay.
So we lost power on it when Matt went to Heston the other day. But they were working fine 2 weeks ago at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Hmm?
How many miles?
You would ask. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
No, no big deal.
Not very many, though.
I mean, not a ton. I mean, back in the day, before those kind of things really became a deal, 20 years ago, people would buy Greyhounds as they were being rolled out, literally with 1 million miles on them, and then turn them into school. Yeah, and so who knows what? We're nowhere near that.
I don't think we're much over 50.
Yeah.
How old are those? They're 3 or 4 years.
We tried to figure that out the other
They
day.
got delivered. My Gene bought them,
Yeah,
Yep.
and,
so it's our 6th year.
yeah.
Tried them out.
The wrapping.
The wrapping.
Yep.
Damn Jerry, got us in trouble with that wrapping. No, I'm just, you just look like you were just, that's the only person that can see that way.
Thanks, Sam. All right, let's move to Monica in food service.
Nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Ackerman, technology.
Nothing further on technology, but I would like to commend Garrett as far as the effort that he's put forth in everything he's been doing with both grounds and maintenance in the buildings. He has been really working hard to troubleshoot the leaks in the buildings, and I know that he's always available to be contacted by email if you ever have any concerns or questions. Be sure and just reach out to him and let him know, because he really is doing a super job on trying to troubleshoot those. He's been hounding those leaks a lot, so I know he's really putting in the effort on that. So other than that, I have nothing further.
All right, thanks, Mr. Ackerman. All right, and Amy is gone.
She's at the MTSS symposium, but
Okay,
I see Randy stepping up.
here comes Mrs. Tyne. All right,
Don't stop her when she's on her way.
she's coming.
So I will deliver this for both Amy and I. This is similar in both buildings. We are wrapping up our fast bridge testing, which is our screener. Actually, the screener is pretty well complete, I believe. And then we move into a diagnostic that helps us take kids that are flagged as possibly having some struggles, and then we kind of diagnose what that might be. And that's how we put them into their power hour groups. Before that happens, we are going to do 2 weeks of a class-wide intervention, and this is for areas where a classroom is showing deficits as a whole group. And this is something that we've learned through our MTSS training with TASN. So we'll do that for 2 weeks while we get our power hour groups sorted. That's quite a big project, just getting everyone where they need to go, finding out who the teachers are going to be, getting those lesson plans ready. So it gives us about 10 days for us to do class-wide interventions, and that'll be new for us. So we are preparing for that and trying to get ready to go.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Tyler, middle school.
Just want to applaud our staff at the middle school, jumping head first into the,
Whatever.
I'm going to start that over. I want to applaud the middle school staff for jumping feet first, head first, something good first into the Longhorn Hour. The training did not roll out. It's been good training, but we adopted the curriculum late in the summer, and they had the courage and the willingness to jump right into instructing the interventions in August, the second week of school. So been going around daily, checking in on those. It's 35 minutes a day. Very pleased with their pace and how they're doing with it. I'm confident we're going to see academic growth from it. And one change I want to make sure I put it in the board report, and I know we don't have printed calendars this year, but we have calendars that have floated around. Our first early release day for the middle and the high school is September 27th, not the 20th. We changed that. That would have been a funding faux pas on us if we had stuck with that. So that's the 27th. That'll be the first early release day. And we'll use that to continue to check in with our teachers, make sure they're getting the proper support they need for this new learning Longhorn Hour. Because if this is effective, I think it'll be a game changer for us. So that's what we'll be using that time for. So that is the 27th. So thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. All right, Jerry Johnson.
You're not wearing orange tonight.
No orange.
Pumpkin orange, right?
I got threatened last time, so guess I decided to go with pink. Actually, my wife dressed me, so it's just whatever she lays out that I have to wear. That's the only way I
Job,
can
Shelley.
match ever. So, I'd like to second what Tyler was saying, just not in the awkward way that he said it. I'm really proud of our staff also for the Longhorn Linguistics Hour. This is a big undertaking. Schools in Kansas don't do it the way, there's not too many that have jumped in to do like a walk-to intervention where everybody's at the same time. But our staff has jumped in and just worked hard at it. It, like anything else, whenever you start something new, it's tough, it's gritty, it's not fun. You have to learn, you have to do some stuff with it, but you walk around and see our high school staff, they're jumping right into it. We got like PE teachers teaching reading, right? So when you have stuff like that and everybody's got to buy into it, it may not be easy, but I think if we can really make an impact this year, then we can really start to see our scores move, and that's kind of what we're going for. So our staff has done an amazing job of just buying into it.
Thank you. All right, let's move to unfinished business and calendar adjustment.
And this is directly related to both what Tyler and Jerry were talking about with the Longhorn IR, the professional learning taking place. And I will tell you, I was present for the very beginning kickoff at the high school with the Reading Horizons Elevate. And this old English teacher's heart was just singing. It was a wonderful thing. For an hour and a half, I'm sitting there thinking, yes, this is great stuff. So the reason I brought to you a calendar adjustment, though, is due to our trainer's schedule, it just didn't work for what we had set up. So what I'm asking you to do is make an adjustment in the calendar to make September 25th a half-day PL day, half-day work day, trading that with October 13th and make that a full-day PL day. Just flip-flop them. Students aren't scheduled to come to school on either of those days already, so this is not an impact on them at all. This is really more for the secondary, but the elementary is good to go with it as well. So I recommend the board make the proposed adjustments to the 23-24 school calendar.
So moved. Second.
Jill and Casey. It's been moved and second to make the proposed adjustments to the calendars official. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, concession stand restroom.
I'll just lead off with, we've got to go back to the drawing board. Last, I worked with them, you know, they'd come in, I wrote to you about it, you know, originally we were talking about 600,000 somewhere in there, and then it came in at 800,000. When I got the final stuff, they're beautiful, it's a beautiful rendition, but it's north of $1 million. Yeah, so we got to go back to the drawing board. I didn't have a recommendation for tonight anyway. I mean, I wasn't going to try to push this through by any means. But that's the price of a track, Matt. Yeah. Yeah. Or turf, yeah.
Football field.
Yeah, four-letter word there. So I'm looking, you know, reloading, looking at possibly the idea, and that what I don't get on this is the fact that they were renovating the existing structure anyway. So now we look at maybe gut that and, you know, maybe engage with the architect. I was disappointed because the following up on what the board had said, you know, board member had said, you know, 2 times ago, and I dialogued with the group, and they're ready to go, and they're going to hire a local architect and moving on. And on the 11th hour said, we can't do it, and so pulled out. So right now we have nothing. I'll call these people tomorrow and say, I know. You know, I told them when we're looking at 800, I said, well, I know I'll call you after the board meeting and say that has to be cheaper. Well, I don't need, this is a ludicrous number to me as far as I'm concerned for a concession stand restroom.
What's the number we started with that we were willing to go?
600?
I didn't think it was that high.
I didn't think so either.
I thought it was like 200.
From Home Depot and have it.
Well, that's what I was like.
Yeah, I know.
We could
For
tear that down
50,000.
and put a metal building up a lot cheaper than that, but.
So we will go back to the drawing board, and In any form of construction, you guys all know this, it's all about time and money. How fast you want it, you're gonna pay more. I would love to say, hey, let's have this done, we'll avail it for a track. You know, I don't know that's going to occur now unless we make hay in the next 30 days with a building from Home Depot or whatever, you know. We get in a metal structure of some sort. Yeah, Curtis, I think what triggers my memory about 3 years ago, we were kicking around a metal building somewhere. And this before I came up with the idea for the CETE building, that was 900,000, but it was gonna be grant funded. And it was 225, somewhere in there, so maybe, and I don't know if that was Morton or Clary or one of those. We'll go back to the drawing
Remember
board
when
on
we did the bond for the frickin' field house thing? It was like $1 million. I mean, that was a number of years ago, but I'm like, good Lord.
it. So I'm not asking for a vote. Wouldn't get one.
We need to
But
call
I'm assuming you guys
HGTV
want to.
And get one of those people.
I'm
'cause they-
assuming you'd like to pursue this still, because when we had our big meeting, this is what we're gonna do, big meeting. When we had a meeting where you guys put it in order, this is what we're gonna do. I'll look into finding better options for you. And just be aware, it probably won't be done by the beginning of the track. So,
Don't we have a committee for that?
it'd be nice to have one. We've not.
We have one. We have a capital improvement committee.
We
Can
do have that.
Can they not work on this?
Yeah, it'd be a great idea. Do you recall, Robin, off the top of your head, who's?
It's Jill and
Well, I think,
Matt and Ryan.
because, I mean, we had that barn deal, and that was Jill and Ryan and I.
Yeah, that Ryan, not that Ryan.
This
Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan
This Ryan and that
Schreiber.
Matt and that Jill. That's
Yeah.
who it is.
But I thought our capital improvement is just Ruda and I, but it doesn't matter to me on our committees.
Well, you can have 3. You can have up to 3. So we'll look at, see who is appointed. We'll move from there.
Okay.
So, I'm agnostic as to what direction we go outside of the fact that I want to spend $1 million. Then I'm not agnostic about that. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Let's move to new business,
We
and
got $1 million to spend even if we wanted to, do we?
we do, but we don't want to.
Yeah, we don't wanna spend
You
that
know.
kind of money on that.
All right, so now we'll move to the, we're going to review the Holcomb Recs budget for.
Although this is just one of those proclivities of state finance, the rec commissions are not self-taxing entities themselves. They have to glom on to somebody. And here, way before my time, BS, before Scott, the district has said, hey, you can do it with us. And so we have no authority over Holcomb Rec Commission. I think we appoint one person to them, but we are their taxing entity. And so in order for that to take place, for them to get their monies, this board has to take a look at it and/or, you don't have any power to adjust it, basically approve it. In a nutshell, it's 4.6 mils. 3.6 of that is for operations. 1 of that is for personal benefits. So it's 4.6 mils total. That's what it was last year. It would provide them with a budget of 1.6 million, almost 1.7. It's 731 in new revenue. I recommend the board approve of the 23-24 HRC budget.
I'll make that motion.
Curtis
Second.
and Sean. Moved and seconded to approve the 2023-24 Holcomb Rec budget. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, adoption of our own budget.
That's right. I mean, we'd be glad to talk to you about it a little bit more if you'd want, but we had the hearing earlier where I gave you the salient details. At this point, I recommend adoption of the 23-24 budget, but very specifically utilizing the motion that I've provided for you. If somebody would read that into the minutes, please.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Schreiber.
I move to adopt the presented budget, taking into account the state assessment scores from last year and possible budgetary adjustments to meet the barriers to get 100% of our students into levels 3 and/or 4 of the KSAs.
Second.
Curtis. It's been moved and seconded to approve the budget for the 2023-24 school year as presented. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, LOB resolution.
Although years ago, for years now, it used to be that, districts would say we want to do what percentage of a LOB, and then it was there for good. A recent interpretation, I'll just read it to you, a recent interpretation of law dealing with the LOB says it's necessary to pass the resolution every year at the intended level. We've tapped 33% since I've been here. I'm recommending that you maintain that level. It's built into the budget you just approved. It generates $2.8 million for us. 2.1 of that is locally funded. So we get 900,000 rather from the state in state aid. It comes out to 17.555 mils. I recommend the board adopt the LOB resolution for the 23-24 school year. It'd be nice if somebody were to read that too, Matt. The resolution.
Yep.
The be it resolved?
Yeah, be it resolved, that.
Big words on it.
Just a resolution.
Be it resolved.
Be it resolved, that.
Okay. Be it resolved that the above named, or USD number 363 of Finney County, Kansas, shall be authorized to make a local option percentage in an amount of 33% for the 2023-2024 school year.
That's it.
Second.
Jill. Moved and seconded to adopt the LOB resolution for 2023-24 school year as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, out-of-state travel.
You have a request before you from the FFA to attend the National Convention in Indianapolis. It's set to take place October 30th through the 4th. Preliminarily, it looks like 8 students, 1 adult would be going. They'll pay for everything, except they're asking for the use of a vehicle and for the district to pay for the gas for the trip. It's a great opportunity as far as I'm concerned. It focuses on success skills and leadership. I recommend the board approve of the student organization request for an out-of-state trip.
I'll make the motion to approve it. Second.
Casey and Jill. It's been moved and seconded to approve the student organization request for out-of-state travel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, executive session. How long does he have?
15, and I'd like Tyler, please. to
Okay.
stay.
All right, so how about we go into executive session for 15 minutes, including Dr. Myers and Tyler. Let's go in at, I'm not gonna do 7:47. I don't wanna throw Casey off. How we go in at 7:50 for 15 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Ryan, Schreiber, and Jill moved and seconded to go into executive session for 15 minutes at 7:50 with Dr. Myers and Tyler. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We are back in session, and I would love to have a motion to approve hiring Abigail Smith as a part-time custodian.
Second.
Ryan Schreivogel and Jill. It's been moved and seconded to hire Abigail. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to hire Arciela Artiega as a full-time cook.
Second.
Curtis and Jill. It's been moved and seconded to hire Arciela. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? I need a motion to hire Kyla Marshall as a part-time custodian.
Second.
Ryan Schreivogel and Jill. Moved and seconded to hire Kyla. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to approve the supplementals as presented.
So moved.
Jill. Second. Ryan Schreivogel. It's been moved and seconded to hire the supplementals as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Dr. Myers?
Nothing else, Mr. Jones?
I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jill and Curtis. Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We did it.
Please turn off your microphone.
I'm glad we got this.